Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You are with Victoria, and today is all about Valentine's makeup. So remember, all you need to do is just hit subscribe to see plenty of more videos coming your way. But as I said, today is about the Valentine's look or date night. If you're lucky enough to be taken out on that date for Valentine's, then this is the perfect makeup for you. So by the end of this video, you will have learned my routine of what I follow when I'm putting on my special makeup or date night makeup, as I like to call it, and some of the colours that I choose to use. And obviously you can adapt it to suit your own skin tone as well. But I often find people are like, oh, how can I mix it up from my everyday makeup? What can I try differently? How do I go about that? So I thought, you know what? Let's do it. It's perfect for this kind of occasion. So what I'm going to do is just pin up my fringe. So I've prepped my skin. I always make sure fully cleansed, tone, and a good moisturiser. When you moisturise, make sure you come down here slightly. And the other thing I would say is make sure that your skin is fully dry and it's not sort of tacky before you start trying to put your makeup on, because you will find otherwise it goes patchy. So I'm just going to pop on a slightly tinted moisturiser now. As I said, I've used my normal moisturiser first of all, and now I'm just going to pop on a tinted moisturiser or a BB cream if you're using BB creams at home. And as I said, it is date night, so it's all about getting that perfect looking skin. And I always try and mix it up a little bit, as I said, from maybe different colours or a little bit of glitter, those kind of things, making it a little bit more special. So once I've put on my tinted moisturiser, I always bring it down just underneath and blend it into my neckline, and remembering those little ears as well. And then just make sure that it starts to sort of set slightly. And again, it's not tacky before you start putting on your concealers and your foundations, etc. Now, if I look to the side, you can see I have some slight blemishes and breakouts here. These are the areas that I tend to suffer with. And often you find like they're really hormonal areas, and as you get older you tend to have breakouts in different areas to maybe you was when you was a teenager. So again, I've tried lots of different ways of concealing, but I find if I conceal underneath my foundation, I get a better finish than I do if I put it over the top of my foundation. So give it a go. I've put this on any blemishes, and I'm also going to put this under my eye as well. And again, when you're doing your eye makeup, or concealing should I say, don't go too heavy, because what you'll find is you'll end up looking like you've been punched in the face. So all I'm now doing is just with my fingertips, I'm just literally blotting this in to the skin. Put too much on, because what I always say is you can go back and add to it. So sometimes if I put my foundation on, I might look back and then go, still a little bit of the dark circle, so I'll just add a little bit more. So now I've done that stage, I'm going to put on my foundation. I always use a powdered foundation, again, because I tend to break out a little bit more. I find it sits better on my skin, so I'm just going to apply that. I think we all just get stuck in that same, base colours cream, then the browns, and etc. But maybe just try a little bit something different. So I've put this on. Come underneath, make sure you're well covered. I always find here is where you start to see a lot of my pores and things, because as I said, I don't have naturally beautiful smooth skin. So I always put a little bit extra just on those areas. Whatever works for you, doesn't have to be anything specific, whatever you feel comfortable with. All I would say is just go a little bit darker than you would on your day-to-day. Remember, it is date night, so I always like to emphasize it just a little bit more than I normally would. So I'm just going to contour just underneath my cheekbone. So I'm just going to apply a little bit more than I normally would on my daily routine. And as I always say, you can go back and add to it. So don't be frightened of trying these contouring products. So I'm just going to buff that in. Slightly different. So the more you blend, the less the colour will be, because obviously you're just buffing it into the skin. So don't take it all away, because you do still want that colour. So just check I'm 100% happy. Then I'm going to add my highlighter. I always used to buff first and then highlight, but actually I find for me it works better the other way around. So I'm just going to highlight the cheek area and down the nose. And the highlighter, sometimes I'll go back and just add to it once I've put the rest of my makeup on. And then once you're happy, I'm going to add a little bit of blusher. Now, because it is date night, I'm going to go a little bit heavier, I suppose is the word, brighter with my blusher, because it is a special occasion. And I'm going to start just with a larger brush when I pop this one on. So I'm just going to smile. So I keep it on the apples of my cheek. I've got quite a big cheek anyway, so it's quite easy for me to see where I need to apply to. Like so. And just again, turn your head from side to side so you can see it. Like so. Then let's do eyes. So I always do foundation, cheeks, and then I do eyes. Some people like to do eyes first, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to put on a natural cream base. Always, as I said, good to start with a base covering the full eye area. So I've just covered my full eyelid with that one. And then all I'm going to do is just across my eye line, I'm just going to take, I'll just hold that up for you, just a slightly sort of brownier colour, but it's got a slight shimmer to it, which is really pretty. Again, it's date night, special occasion, so I'm just going to pop this over the top. If you get any drop down, just take your larger brush like so and just brush it off straight away. Then I'm going to darken the corners slightly. So all I'm going to do is just take a dark brown. Brown is always my go-to kind of colour because it pretty much suits everybody, but when I'm going out on a special occasion, I just work it a little bit more and apply a little bit more makeup to those areas. So I'm just using a round, sort of flatter, a rounder brush, should I say. And I'm just going to take this into up to so. And the same on the other side. So then I'm going to go back just to add a little bit more to each side. So now I've buffed quite a lot of it in, I can then just go back and darken it where I want to add the colour to it, rather than going in too heavy and then kind of making that mistake where you can't get rid of it. But I always used to say, you know, people get nervous about doing their makeup, but it's not a permanent fixture. So worst case, if it goes wrong and you end up not liking the colour, or you find you look like you've been smacked in the face, should I say, you just take it off and start again. It's not the end of the world. It's not like dyeing your hair blue or something, is it? So don't be frightened of just stepping outside your comfort zone, giving it a go. And then what I'm going to do is just go back onto the eyelid, and I'm going to use a slightly, again, I'll just hold that up to the camera, this glittery sort of one here. And I just use a very flat brush, if I just can find the one I want. One like this is an Urban Decay brush. I love their eyeshadow brushes. They're really great to work with. Now, because it is so glittery, and as I said before, you don't want to end up with it absolutely everywhere, I tend to blot it just on my hand slightly. Step outside your comfort zone, especially if you are busy or you're a mom especially. It doesn't mean that you can't try new things and experiment with new colours. Find the time for yourself. That's what I found the hardest when I became a mum, just finding that time to still put my makeup on, but it makes you feel so different when you've got your face on. Okay, so now I'm happy that I've added just a little bit of glitter to each side. Just make sure they are even. And sometimes, as I said, you can't see it until you turn your head a little bit. And then we are going to do the eyebrows, and then I'm going to highlight just in the eyebrow arch there afterwards. So with your highlighting and your brows, I tend to do my brows first, then highlight, and then touch them up if I need to. So first of all, I'm just going to comb the brows. Now I've got quite full brows anyway, and I do tint them. I find if I just tint them myself at home, it helps when I come to do my makeup. If you haven't got loads of brow, this bit might just take you a little bit longer to do. So I'm just going to add a pencil in first and then a brown mascara. The reason I do it that way round is because I find that my pencil just sort of gives it, it fills it out, and the mascara sets it in place. So what I'm going to do is literally keep that line quite defined underneath, and then I'm going to keep it a little bit softer on top. So all I'm doing is just coming across. And then as I come up here, I'm just going to use like little strokes just to keep those sort of fine hair, that fine hair look of the brow. I don't like it when you see that real drawn on effect. Pop that one to one side. Then I'm going to take my brow mascara. So as I said, I always use both because brows are my favourite thing. Perfect, I'm happy with them. Now I'm going to highlight in the arch of the brow. So I'm just going to use a very soft highlighter in the brow, but you could use your highlighter that you've used on the cheeks if you wanted to. So I'm just going to literally run that into the arch. And then I'm going to put on my mascara. So as always, I do have some lashes on already, but I'm just going to top them up with a little bit of mascara on my bottom. When you are putting on mascara over the top of lash extensions, just use it at the very tips because trying to get it off otherwise. Okay, I am happy. So before I finish, I'm going to do my lips and just a loose powder over the top. Always loose powder. I tend to loose powder before I put my lipstick on, just so it doesn't drop onto my lips itself. So I'm just going to pop it on with a large brush. Then we are going to do lipstick. So date night, because I've kept my eyes sort of with the browns and the creams, I'm going to go red lipstick. I'm all about red lipstick for this year. It's one of my favourites. If you wanted to, the other thing that would work with this one is, I'll just hold that up. It's like a sort of stony, slightly darker nude kind of colour. That works really well with this kind of makeup. But if you're feeling a little bit bolder, you can use a red. So I'm going to use red, and I'm just going to apply it, so I can't talk when I'm doing this part, so I'll just pop it on. So once you are happy, just make sure you don't have any on your teeth, because as I always said, nobody will tell you, they'll just let you walk around with it on your teeth. I'm just going to take my fringe down. Obviously I would do my hair afterwards. Let me just brush that through for you to see. Just put it to one side so you can see that makeup finish. And there we are, that would be my date night look. So give it a go, enjoy Valentine's this year, and remember, all you need to do is just hit subscribe to tune in to plenty more of my videos. See you soon.